Did you know that if you get married abroad, but you or your spouse live in Ecuador, you can register that same marriage here as if you got married in Ecuador itself? Most expats have no idea that this simple legal step can save them thousands of dollars, prevent future legal problems, and even make it easier to get divorced, if that day ever comes. Stay tuned, because in this video, I'll explain why registering your marriage in Ecuador might be the one smartest legal decision you ever make. Hi everyone, I'm attorney Sabrina Candela from Expat Law Group, where we help foreigners navigate the Ecuadorian legal system stress-free. I've helped hundreds of expats with their visas, residencies, and yes, registering their marriages in Ecuador. Today, I'll break down exactly how it works, what you will need, and why it matters more than you think. First, let's discuss about the hidden difference between having your marriage registered in Ecuador and just informing the visa center of your marital status. Let's start with the question. When you applied for your visa, did you submit your apostille marriage certificate? If you did, then great. But here is the catch. Just because your Ecuadorian cedula says that you are married, or even if it lists the name of your spouse, that doesn't mean that your marriage is actually registered in Ecuador. Are you confused now? Well, I know, and most of my clients are when I tell them this. Here is the key difference between having your cedula or having your visa stating your marital status and having your marriage actually registered in Ecuador. The visa office is part of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They handle your visa and your orden de cedulación, which includes your marital status, and it's submitted to the civil registry only for the sake of producing or processing your cedula with the information contained in this orden de cedulación, but it does not mean at all that your marriage is registered in Ecuador. But the civil registry, that's a complete separate authority, and that's the one that it's involved in marriage registration. It's the one that keeps the records in Ecuador of all the vital records of the citizens, the births, deaths, and marriages. So even if your cedula says married, it's just information that was passed to the civil registry for printing your cedula from the Ministry of International Affairs, but it does not mean that you have an official registration of your marriage on the civil registry. And that's where the real legal recognition happens. So then, now let's discuss what does this registration actually means. It means that your foreign marriage becomes legally recognized within Ecuador's national system. The civil registry takes your foreign marriage certificate and records it in their national books, as if you had gotten married right here in Ecuador. Once the process is completed, you receive an Ecuadorian marriage certificate, a local official document that you can use for all future legal purposes in the country and even abroad. If you need your marriage certificate to be used in a different country, but getting it from your home country it's complicated, you can get the electronic registration of your marriage certificate in Ecuador, get it electronically apostilled, and even using it in third countries. So let's discuss now what you will need to complete the registration. The requirements are simpler than most people expect. Here is what you need: your apostille marriage certificate from your home country, a certified translation by an Ecuadorian approved translator, which must be also authorized, and an appointment at the civil registry. That's it. And don't worry, at Expat Law Group we can take care of everything: the translation, the formatting, the appointment. You just need to show us your Ecuadorian cedula and we can move forward. And let me give you a quick tip about the validity or the requirements of your foreign marriage certificate apostille. There is no expiration date for your marriage certificate when it comes to registration, in difference to what it's for visas, which cannot be older than 6 months. This means that you can actually reuse the same one that you use for your visa and not need to get a new one. Even if this certificate is held at the Ministry of International Affairs where your visa was processed, we could obtain it back for you for completing the processing of the registration of your marriage. Also, an additional requirement is that at least one of the two spouses, must be a resident of Ecuador. But even if your spouse live abroad, or if you yourself live abroad but your spouse live here, we can still complete the registration. This means that the requirement is only for one of these spouses to be either a permanent or a temporary resident in Ecuador. Now let's discuss about how this process works. So here is how it goes. If your current cedula says that you are already married, then the process involves 2 appointments. In one of the appointments, the civil registry will temporarily change the records of your files in their system from married to single so they can register the marriage. This does not have any consequences outside of the civil registry, it's just an internal process. If your cedula says single, then it usually only takes 1 appointment because we don't need that additional appointment for the internal change of your marital status. Either way, we guide you from start to finish. At the end, you will get your Ecuadorian marriage certificate, both physically and digitally. And what is this digital version all about? Well, let me tell you, it's gold. You can access it anytime, anywhere, from any device. Download it, print it, or email it to an attorney, a notary, a governmental agency, the visa office, anywhere or anyone you want, only in minutes. Now let's discuss about the real benefits, right? Because at the start of this video, I said that it can save you thousands of dollars, that it's a very good thing to do, but let's really discuss why. Why did I say that? Because registering your marriage isn't just a formality, it is a strategic legal move. First benefit, save money forever. Once your marriage is registered in Ecuador, you will never need to request another apostille certificate from your home country again. No more expensive shipping fees to Ecuador, apostille fees, or long waits to get it processed in your home country vital record offices. You can use your Ecuadorian certificate for all local processes. Visas renewal, cedula renewals, notary acts, wills, end of life, you name it. Benefit number 2, total convenience. Skip the stress of getting foreign documents every time. With your registration complete, you can download your Ecuadorian marriage certificate online 24/7. The costs for the online copies only $3. Benefit number 3, real legal empowerment. To make certain legal arrangements and documents like marital agreements, separation of assets, or inheritance and estate planning, your marriage must be registered in Ecuador. This can protect your spouse and ensure your assets go where you want them to go when you pass away or when an emergency comes. And by the way, check out the other video that we have about wills and inheritance laws in Ecuador if you want to learn more about that. Benefit number 4, protect your loved ones. In the unfortunate event of death, a registered marriage makes everything smoother and faster for your surviving spouse. It gives them direct access to property, bank accounts, and legal rights without international complications, especially if you pass away without a will. Of course, when I say that it gives direct access, it doesn't mean that just by the fact of being married, the assets are taken care of. That's why we always highly suggest having a will, because otherwise it will require probation, notarial documents, taxes, etc. But having the marriage registered is actually one of the requirements to completing this paperwork. So either with or without a will, having the registration of your marriage, it's a key point in order to save money and stress to your loved ones, and especially your survival spouse once you pass away. Benefit number 5, divorce made easier. Well, actually, not only easier, but it's the only way that you can divorce in Ecuador. It's by previously having your marriage registered in the country. Yes, registering your marriage also gives you the legal right to divorce in Ecuador. Even if your spouse doesn't live here, you can file the divorce in Ecuador, often faster, cheaper, and simpler than doing it abroad or on your home country. and your divorce can later be recognized back home if that is what you want. So, if you want to make your life in Ecuador legally solid, financially smart, and future-proof, register your marriage. At Expat Law Group, we handle the entire process for you, translations, appointments, and filings, so you don't have to worry about a thing. And if you're interested in knowing how we can complete the registration for you so you don't need to even worry about attending to one appointment, we can get that done through a power of attorney. If you want to learn more, watch this video.